talk about perspective, right? She's sitting here in her precious 7-year-old mind thinking, this girl's had to worry about this girl Jolene because of her husband. Well, he's dead now. She don't have to worry about Jolene anymore. Talk about a change in perspective. I was like, well, I guess that's one thing. I guess she doesn't. I guess she doesn't. Welcome to Simply 1%, where we believe that small shifts, just 1% shifts, create transformation. Big change doesn't usually happen in one big dramatic moment. It happens in the small intentional adjustments we make over time. Here we approach growth with grace for ourselves and grace for others. Meredith Richards is a licensed marriage and family therapist and communication coach. And I'm Gwendolyn Pascal, a life developmental coach and a mentor and teacher of the motivational gifts. If what you hear resonates with you, we would love your support. Follow the show, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs a 1% shift today. All right, let's get into this, simply 1% at a time. Hi guys, welcome back to Simply 1%. We are continuing with the podcast. This is basically part 2 of our last podcast of asking questions that people have written in and asked that, hey, will you please ask Meredith this? I have a question for you guys. So we're going to continue with this because even within these answers, you're going to see some of the 1% that we take. You're also going to see that we're human and that we struggle with the same things that you struggle with. We have great advice, but do we take it ourselves? And listen, I will tell you one thing, the 1%, we definitely take ourselves because every time we meet for this podcast, we're doing a 1%. Let's change this. Let's change the location. Let's get a better mic. Let's get better headphones. Let's make sure my hair's down and I don't look like a Bergen. There's many things that we change, but it's only 1% at a time. If you listen to our first episode, you'll see the progression that we have taken, the 1%, because it's very amateur. But I appreciate that first episode because it does show you how far we've come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've still have a pretty solid following from the very first episode, so we appreciate that.
We do.
Yeah, I heard from a new listener this past week. It said, I've been wanting to listen to you forever, and I finally got a chance to do it. This is one of the girls I used to babysit for a long time ago, and she's, I just love you and Gwendolyn. I'm learning so much, and we love having that. We love hearing that. Just to see who it means something to, what you're learning. Yeah. That's really such a wonderful motivator. And then I got an email today from one of the listeners and said, I am learning so much. Here's what I did this past weekend because of what I learned from your last podcast. And if you ever have a moment just to talk a little bit more about this, I would love to run this by you and see like if I did the thing, you know? And my response was, if you feel like you did the thing, how are you feeling about it now? Like, how do we check ourselves to see if we're meeting our own Simply 1% goals, you know? Like we talk about having that internal compass, that validation. Mm-hmm. So where are we getting that from? And please ask. It's okay. We will say, okay, like we'll talk you through it. We'll talk you through it. I appreciated that because it means that it's doing its job, right? The work that we're doing, even if it matters to one person, that's enough. And we do really mean that. Like whoever we reach, it's enough. I think we're making, and like you said, Gwendolyn, we've grown a lot through this, not just with this technology stuff. It's been something. I want to like poke my eyes out every single time. And I just think, Gwendolyn, one day maybe somebody else will be doing this for us. We just have
Maybe.
to come and sit down. It's all done for us. We can have dreams, right? Just like the rest of
Yeah.
you.
I am finding that not only the technology part when it comes to 1% with us on this podcast, the what I'm finding out mm, what I'm finding out about myself in this process, I was talking to another therapist friend of mine. Yes, guys, I have another therapist friend. It's fine. I love Meredith. Anyway, I was roommates with her. She's actually a content creator herself, Mandy Peters, but I'll tag her. But we were talking about this whole process, and like she's doing content, and I was like, I'm so jealous that you're so good at doing your Instagram
Mm,
content, your
mm-hmm.
TikTok content, your Facebook. Like, I'm so jealous that you're disciplined to get it out there. And she's beautiful and she's blonde and she looks like she
Oh,
belongs
yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
Abercrombie.
How
And
does she look the same as when I met
uh,
her?
I don't know. It's
Like,
some
I'm not
kind
mad
of
at you, Mandy. I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad about it at all. But
I
seriously,
know.
how does that girl look the
She's
same?
yeah. She's beautiful in and out. And
She
I
is.
love that she's doing content. And it's just going to look different for all of us. And
Yeah.
I'm very happy for her and I love what she's doing. She's doing a great job. The reason I'm saying all of this is to let you guys know we are putting out there what we can. And we just appreciate people's patience. And you and I
Mm,
struggle with this so much,
yeah,
Meredith.
we
And
do. We
someone
do.
told Meredith the other day, you guys need to be putting your video of you guys talking on YouTube. And I felt sick to my stomach and I wanted to throw up in my mouth. But I was like, I know that they're right. So now we have to make sure that we are making okay videos and they're not blurry and done with laptops that were created in 1989. And we have to make sure that we're doing this because this is kind of what's required apparently in the podcast world, where I used to think I could just hide behind a microphone and talk and I wouldn't have to worry about me looking
Mm,
at the screen and I wouldn't have to worry about all of these things. And now I do. And I'm realizing how uncomfortable I am in this process and how the 1% have been necessary, and how,
yeah.
since both you and I have that perspective of 1%, we don't push each other. We're like, okay, did we change a little something? Did
Yes.
we take a small step to make it better?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how long was it like, Gwendolyn, I just need to get on Instagram and do things, Gwendolyn. And I
Right.
didn't push you because I'm like, it'll get there. It's
It,
1%. If
yes, it
you're
got there
1%,
and it hasn't
yeah.
gotten there in the last few weeks. But speaking to the simply 1%,
Hmm.
I have to tell myself, I am just happy that I even started it and I have done what I've done so
Exactly.
far.
Yeah.
Sometimes people hear that stuff and they're like, well, that's not really a motivator. You were kind of just being like, "Rrr," Um, no, I'll start again. I'm thinking about it. I'm just not being hard on myself about it because we live in the real world. Uh,
Hmm.
things other I know what I value most, and those values become my priorities. Do
Exactly.
I value
Yes.
this? Absolutely. Do I value this more than time with my family? No, I
Mm-mm.
don't.
I
I
don't love
really
you
don't.
guys, but no. Mm-mm.
No. And
And
a
it
lot,
shouldn't.
I really don't. And I, I've recognized that in the past couple weeks, when my family was visiting, you and I shifted quite a few things and it worked out, and you've had to do that as well. It was so important for me to be with my 70 something year old parents
Yep.
walking around these old streets of Europe that, I mean, 15 to 18,000 steps a day. I think God bless them, seriously. And I just was
Yeah.
walking around and thinking, I don't want to do anything else but this right now.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, that for 2 weeks being with my parents and just focusing on that. Look, I took a lot of pictures for us. You'll be seeing that in the content for sure. Maybe a few more
Yeah.
months from now, but I
Sure.
was thinking about you. I was really thinking about you. Um, you don't go out of my mind in those moments.
Right.
It's just that we are so hard on ourselves about trying to do everything, and it's just not
Yeah.
possible. That's why we have priorities, and that's why we have values, because they are our moral compass, right?
That's right.
They
Uh-huh.
keep us aligned.
Yep.
So the other part for me is health.
Yep.
I'm and for you as well, I want to make sure I do get the steps in. I prioritize doing exercise. I prioritize, the things that they say now, got to get the protein in. Nah, 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 nah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that took a lot of 1% too. And I've done that and I've built that up over time. And once you have something, you want to hold on to it, right? And instead of maybe doing protein every day when you're on vacation, I just make sure that I am eating protein at some point because in Europe, like cheese and bread is so good.
I know,
So good.
right? But you know what I've also appreciated talking about these 1%, and you being with your parents, and like when I'm having time with my husband, I don't pick up the phone. I don't
Yeah.
there's reason why when I'm editing these podcasts, I don't get it edited until the last minute because I have homeschooling with my kids. I have my husband on his days off. I want to have those times. I need rest. Again, the walking, the
Yeah.
dogs, all of these things. And
Mm-hmm.
Meredith and I are not hard on each other with this. We are not.
Mm-mm.
And that goes
Nope.
back to your table. Who's sitting at your table? Do they understand your values and priorities? Are your values and priorities important to them as well? That those things are important to you. And so that's where we're at with this is it's hard for us to do social media. It's very difficult. Do you have a bug on your neck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez. It makes me so mad. I'm trying to be all calm here and I'm like, where is it and where'd it go? I don't even know.
And
I
the
don't
thing
even
is, it's
know. And
blurry to me a little bit, so that's why I couldn't really see it. It was like a
so it's
black
blurry for
dot.
you too?
A little
Oh,
bit right
goodness
now. A
gracious.
little bit right now.
Yeah.
All of that to say, we are putting out what we can.
Mm-hmm.
And you do need to be patient with us because as much as this is important to us, it's not first on our list because we have the values and priorities of our family, of health, of our self-care, of rest, all of these things that make this possible.
Yeah.
Without those other things where they need to be, this is not possible.
No, I mean, you're not going to get the best of us for sure.
No. So we have more questions that people wanted to ask. I like this one, Meredith. Meredith, this one,
Okay.
I like this. Meredith,
What
you
is it?
often talk about your love for traveling. What was your worst trip and why and where?
Oh, gosh, it's probably somewhere hot.
Mm.
Um, my worst. Oh, well, it also really matters who you travel with too. That
Oh, yes.
that
Oh.
can
Oh.
that can define a terrible trip.
Mm-hmm.
So one that I do continue to go back to is it wasn't my first time in Italy, but um, it was during the summer. I ended up going to Milan first. I was going for Montessori. I was going to Bergamo, which is an awesome trip for me. But I had to go in the summer, and I had planned maybe a couple of weeks to go around Italy. I got to Milan and I was like, why do people like this place? I don't understand it. And I just remember going from place to place and I liked each place more. But the reason it bothered me so much is because it was so blasted hot. And I ended up
Mm.
coming home early. I'm like, I can't enjoy
Wow.
this.
Mm.
I can't truly enjoy this. I have to say though, in Milan, I did have one of the best experiences with opera. See, that's the thing. I can always make something good, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
a free show outside under the stars in these old ruins. I mean, come on. Like that's it. Figaro. I think that's how you say it. I don't really know, but that was I have that. It's a pretty vivid memory for me. But I would say that, and then there was another one that I went to a beautiful place and I went with a friend for a family engagement and I didn't really know her family that well and we all stayed together. What I did know is it like can be high conflict. And as you know, I'm
Oh,
not that.
yeah.
So I did enter like a high conflict family and I can handle a lot and I did, I took time by myself and stuff, but I ended up needing so much recovery after that because I was there as a support for my friend as well, you know?
Mm,
And it's not like I just like her family. It was just they are who they are, and it's not my family. It's not how I like to do vacation.
yeah.
um, so I would say those two things. Do you know of another one? Have
No,
I
I
ever
can't
talked?
think of.
Yeah,
There are different elements to different places,
yeah.
right? I mean, when I was in Thailand, I remember the heat was so
Oh,
heavy. It was heavy. The
it was
humidity, the
heavy.
heaviness of the
Yeah.
humidity, and there were roaches. That was hard for me, but the person I traveled with and the places we went were great. So
Yes.
it really
Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
depending, right? Sometimes you travel with someone, you're like, this is
It
awful,
is. It
but the
is.
place
Yeah,
is great.
exactly. Look, I am a huge supporter of traveling with the person you believe is your person. I'm a
Hmm.
huge supporter in that. Like, travel with that person. There's so much that you learn from it, right? Like, there's so much that you learn.
Yeah.
Who's the planner? Who is there somebody who gets anxious? Who's the person who can go with the flow? What's more important in how they spend time? Do you get up at the beginning of the day and like you're like, all right, let's go? Are you a touristy person or do you experience the place? And maybe you talk about these things before you go, but until like you're on this in this adventure together, you don't really know. And I don't know. I've learned that too. I think there are friends that you have, and then there are friends that you have to travel with,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Agreed. Oh, I agree. I
Yeah.
know people that, and for whatever reason, even if it's like a physical thing, like there are people that I know are way more physically able to do things than my old lady 90-year-old hips, right? And they, I would just be dragging them back. I have a friend, Amanda, who's like, oh, Gwendolyn, when our kids are older, let's just backpack Europe. And I said, oh, that's cute. Are you going to push me in a wheelchair? Because that's what
Is
it's
she
going to
talking to
be.
you?
She's
She's
talking to
talking to
me.
you. Wow, she
I'm
has
like,
high
girl,
hopes
20
and
years
dreams.
ago, she
What does
sure
she have
does.
a magic wand? Like what? Like
Listen,
I don't.
she is very much a dreamer in a good sense where she's like, "Oh yeah, you can do it. We
Oh,
can do this."
yeah,
Like,
she's great.
yeah. And
Her
I'm like,
energy is
"Well,
fantastic.
yeah." And by the end of that trip, I would be in one of those diaper casts, like and her response because she's such a positive person, she's like, I would push you around in a wheelchair." I'm like,
She would.
"She
She
would."
would.
And she wouldn't complain. She'd be like, "That's just what you do."
No.
I'm
I'm just
like,
happy to be with you. I'm just happy to
just
experience this
happy.
with you. Yep.
Like, so, I mean, even like the physical part, you have to kind of say, okay, do we match in this area?
Sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, you and I
I had
went
a
to
friend.
Charleston. Let me say
Oh,
this about you, Meredith. Now,
yeah,
Meredith
yeah.
will alter like her level of energy and like what she's doing if she's with somebody, like she's just wanting to be with them and enjoy that time with them. Like, and Meredith will also go do her own thing. But we went to Charleston for her birthday one year. And I remember her being like, "Oh yeah, let's go to this one restaurant." And it was a good ways away. And when I tell you I wore flats, I wore tennis shoes. Like I was like, I'm not being fancy. Meredith showed up in basically stilettos, walked
No, I
cobblestone
did not.
roads. Yeah, yes, you did. Yes, ma'am, you did. Because I remember feeling like, what is she doing? And I'm
I
like,
must have had a
oh my
crazy hair,
goodness. You
as they
had
say.
very cute pants on, you were dressed to the nines, and I was like, well, I need to wear something that matches my tennis shoes. And we were walking. There was even a time where this homeless man kind of said something to us, and I was like, well, I'm ready to run. But then I looked at Meredith and I'm like, she is too. She is too. With the
Hmm.
stilettos and everything, she is too. And yeah. But like
That
I
was
thought to
such a
myself, how?
great trip.
How
That
is
was
she
such a great
doing
trip.
this? But
Yeah.
and I loved it and it was great. And Meredith's so accommodating with me too, with my 90-year-old hips and stuff like that, and my plantar fasciitis and my
Well,
heel
and you do it for
spurs.
me too. You're not into necessarily the cocktail culture, but
Mm-mm.
you know that I am. and you find humor in it and how I experience it.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing. But I'm not going to make you go to all of these every day. And also, you wouldn't be hurt if I'm like, well, I'm going to go to this one. You're like, fine, I'll hang out here. I'm good. I'm
Oh yeah.
good.
But I also enjoy when you love someone, you want to see them enjoying things that
Yeah.
they enjoy. And so we went to this one place and it was the best truffled popcorn I'd ever had in my life. And I've talked about that
Yeah.
truffled
You
popcorn
still talk about it. Yeah.
till this day. I'm like, I don't
Yes.
know that I'm not convinced this it was just truffles. I think they sprinkled a little cocaina in there, if you know what I'm saying, a little cocaine. Was like, let's get these people hooked. And I don't know, it was like $12 for like a little piece of it. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll run up the
Yeah.
tab. Give me more
Give me
popcorn.
another.
Put it
Uh-huh.
in my
Uh-huh.
veins. Shoot it up. It was delicious. And I remember Meredith like trying these drinks. She likes these like concoctions that are very like floral and like as she says layers. She's like, I can taste the layers. And I would taste it. I'm like, I taste grass and like maybe geraniums. I'm not sure because I feel like geraniums would taste like this. And I'm like,
Um,
but she loves florals, like, oh, a little bit of, and she would like taste it and be like, I taste this. And I'm like, I taste a bouquet of flowers, but that's fine. Give me
I
something
like a
with
balance. I
chocolate.
like a
You do.
balance.
But I'm like, give me something chocolatey, maybe a little, but yeah. So
Hmm.
our palettes are very different. But I enjoyed watching you because that was something you really enjoyed. She watched people, of course, as we do. And,
Mm,
it was fun. It was good.
yeah. And you and I hadn't had that time together. I don't
No,
know. I don't know when we did that together.
no.
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
So I really, really appreciate that you made that happen. That meant a lot. That was really a sweet
But,
time.
as I was
Yeah.
driving home, because I dropped you off at the airport and then I drove home 4 hours or whatever it was, it brings me back to this. There was a little hound dog on the side of this 4 lane or 3 lane road in this like curled up in the side of the road. And of course, I risked my life getting out of that car. I went to the next exit, turned around, went back, and I was like, come here, baby, come here. I was like, and these big transfer trucks are whizzing by me, and I'm trying to get this hound that's like curled up on the side of the road. And I'm like, come here. And of course, the hound ran away into the woods, which I've thought of that little sweet baby hound since then. But I thought to myself, as much as I was sitting there having floral drinks with Meredith, had she still been in the car with me, she'd have been on all that. She'd have been,
Oh,
she'd have been out there with me
absolutely.
on that
Yeah.
highway being like, this is important to you. We're going to try to get the
Yeah.
hound dog.
Absolutely. Especially if I had had like 3 cocktails at that point, I'd be
What?
gone with that dog.
I think you would have been able to catch that dog in stilettos. I mean, I
Oh,
was.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think
Challenge accepted. Challenge
but I do
accepted.
think that's important
100.
because when you travel with someone that you're both courteous of each other, you love each other, that's seeing the other person happy is important to you. Things just go a lot easier.
It really does. And as we're talking about this, this is one of the things that I do in premarital counseling. How do you want to spend your free time? And
Mm,
what do your vacations look like? How often do you want to go? How much do you want to spend? These are really good questions that we don't really think to ask. We don't.
no.
But you know that we are not hot weather people at all.
Mm-mm.
We are not hot weather people. Will we do the hot weather? Yeah. For a
Mm-hmm.
purpose, for a cause. If it's just to go and see a place and I know it's going to be hot, I can prepare myself. I'm not going to spend as much time there, right?
Yeah.
But how many beaches have I been to? Because most of the people in my life love a beach.
Hilton Head 2 years ago. You met me down there.
I did. I did, and I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it. But how much do I like the beach, Gwendolyn? How
No.
much?
Yeah. Not a hot beach either. No. But I
No,
remember you getting off the plane and you were like, I felt that heat smack me in the face. I felt assaulted. That
it did. It
humidity.
smacked me right in the face. Yep,
And
right
I just
in the
thought that
face.
was so funny. but you didn't complain about it. You were just like, that was a funny comment because we both know how we feel about humidity. I started going to Hilton
Yeah.
Head because I'm like, it meant a lot to my husband, and then my children love it. And now I love it
Hmm.
because of that. So I'm preparing
Yeah.
for the heat and the cockroaches. Not that I just know that they're there. I just know that they're there because I know they are. They love it. So I'm preparing for all of those things. And so anyway, but it was a great trip, and you hate the humidity, but you enjoyed it.
Hmm.
You're just like, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
going to be hot. I'm going to have swass,
Yeah.
and that's just the way that it is. Just prepare for the
It's just
swass.
gonna be, I'm just embracing it.
All right, quick pause before we keep going. If you're enjoying this conversation, we want to ask you for a small favor. Go ahead and follow the podcast and leave us a review. Those reviews actually tell us that these conversations are reaching and helping people. And that matters to us because doing this takes time out of our day, our week, and sometimes it takes our sanity. So if something you've heard here has helped you think differently, have a better conversation, or even just feel a little less crazy in your life, take 10 seconds and leave us a review. It helps the show grow and lets us know that it's worth continuing. Plus, Meredith says leaving a review is a healthy relational behavior, and I'm pretty sure therapists know things. And honestly, it's a nice way to say keep going without having to send us baked goods, although we accept those too. All right, now back to the conversation before we get off track, which is completely typical of us.
Yeah, and like think of it, the pace, right? The pace in which we do things. Like how much money are we spending on food? There's just so many. We could look how much we've talked about this so far because the dynamics of sharing a memory, a space, daily life with someone, there's always a negotiation. There's always some
Mm-hmm.
negotiation. And it doesn't need to be a conversation all the time. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying everything is compromise, but it
Yeah.
is a negotiation of time. I want to go and do this workout. Well, the kids are coming home at that time, and you've gotten the kids off the bus 3 days in a week, 3 days in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my turn, let's say. Um, but I didn't get to go to work out the last 2 days, so it's kind of like I'm negotiating this. I'm negotiating it with myself. I'm negotiating it with the responsibilities of home, and as I say, the value of family, right?
Yeah.
We like being there when our kids get home. So it's just always maybe I should say it's always a conversation. And
Yeah.
that we many people like a routine. That's another thing about traveling or life in general. I don't love a routine. A routine is necessary for me. But if I had a
Mm,
partner who was so, oh my gosh, like geared to a routine
that'd be hard.
and like really strict about it,
Yeah.
that would be really difficult. However, I appreciate a partner with a routine where they understand who I am and the routine
Mm-hmm.
is like within space. I'm going to get
Yes.
up at, like he's going to get up at 5 in the morning. He loves the whole thing. That's great. You will not see me out of bed before 9. The only time you see that is if I have to go to the airport. That's it. That, or I haven't slept and I'm still awake from the night
Yeah.
before.
Right.
That is it. Do not do it. And also, I may be up, but I'm not awake. Give me a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
This is also something that you need to know about the people you're going to spend your everyday with, right?
Oh,
Like you and Joe are kind of in sync with that.
we are very much in sync with that. We're just kind of very similar. We've meshed over time with that,
Hmm.
and that's fine. But even like, for instance, when we did go to Charleston, you even mentioned last time you were here, you're like, wow, you have coffee as soon as you wake up. I'm like, as soon as I wake up, I have to have my coffee. Sometimes you'll go to like 1 o'clock and be like, I need a cup of coffee. I'm like, how? Who are you? Who is this? But when we went to Charleston, I
True.
knew I woke up earlier than you, so I got up. I went to the coffee shop. I did my thing until I knew you were awake, so I wouldn't make noise in the room. I remember bringing you coffee. You're like, you don't have to bring me coffee in the morning, Wendell. And I don't usually have coffee till later. I'm like, no, that's. I just feel like that's dirty talk. But I mean, I just
I
like,
drank it and I appreciated it. I was not
yeah,
saying you don't do
no,
it.
no. But I was just
But
like,
you
but
know,
people are different. People are different, and
hmm
it's okay. Like they don't have to be like you. And
no,
just
please don't.
you
I mean, really,
don't.
th-
I mean, my husband and I
there
are
are
very
things that we
similar
want
in
to
things,
share.
but yeah.
Yeah.
And but I think also just being courteous and like you were saying, with someone who's very, very structured, make room for me is what I'm saying.
hmm
So we'll have some structured
Yes.
time. We'll have some time
hmm
that's not structured. Let's both be flexible with that.
Right. And with the ADH to the D, I do
Oh,
need someone to keep me on task a lot
mm-hmm.
of the time. And it's not just going to be anyone. It's going to be someone who understands that about me and has
Yeah.
they can call me out. It's a nice balance, right?
Yeah.
And that is your person. If you know these things about yourself, it's like, okay, give me grace, but also I have a difficult time with time. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I know that the person I'm with time is very important to them, like being on time or how you use your time, that is, I'm always conscious of that. And I
Mm-hmm.
do my best, right?
Yeah.
To show up. And if that means that I have to do five less things in my day to make sure that I am there, then I will sit at home all day just to like be there, and I probably will still get late. I'll still be late, but I had the plan, right? I have no idea
Mm-hmm.
how that happens. It happens all the time. It's my whole life. But I appreciate that people know that about me and know that it's not a selfish thing, that I really do hear you and I know it's important to you. Like if I'm traveling with you and you get up every morning and you're waiting for me to start the day, and that's also not cool. Like I need to, I'll just get up earlier. That's fine. But you're not going to make me like be energetic and like, all right, Meredith, let's go and have these in-depth conversations with me at
Right.
8 in the morning. I'll get up and go. And you're right. I don't complain about it, but it will take me some time. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're talking about here with Simply 1%, right? This is what we're talking about, guys. Like, we are always learning. It does not matter how long we have been friends, how long you've been in a relationship, you've been at your job. Things are growing, moving, shaking, changing all the time. Wendell, you used to love horror movies, and now you're like,
Oh,
absolutely not. That was
yeah.
a
I don't know what that
significant change.
was.
Not like I'm like saying, oh,
Yeah.
but it's just funny the things that we know about someone when we first meet them that's important to them, or how they talk, how they use their time. And then we grow over time, something else becomes a priority. We get into a new relationship, we have to move for a job, we have a child, like unfortunately we have a death, whatever it is. We're always in these moments of enlightenment, right? If we're
Yeah.
in the simply 1% mindset, things could change in an instant, and we have to figure out how we're going to pivot. And you don't
Yeah.
always have to. You don't have to pivot. If you have the luxury of being like, well, that changed and that's not for me, then you have the luxury of that. We don't
Yeah.
always do, but that's also a 1%, isn't it? To recognize that
Yeah.
I might need to let this go or this person go because it's not working for us
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
Right. And Meredith, when we're talking about traveling and you're talking about this is a really good indication, like how you guys are going to work together, right? The give and take kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
When you are starting new friendships, relationships, I was just talking to a client about this morning. I love what Meredith says, and I'm teaching my children this. When you meet someone, before you go traveling, before you go, do all these things, first thing to do, gather information. See it that way only. When you meet someone, you're just gathering information
Mm.
about them. That's it. There's
I was
no
wondering what you were going
other,
to say. I was like, what do I
yeah,
say? Oh,
there's no other thing that's required. You don't have to
yeah.
define what this person is to you. You don't have to say, I'd like to have
Mm-mm.
this with this person. Just
Yeah.
gather
It's research.
information. It's research. And, I was talking about this a little bit with my son this morning is we're facing a situation coming up. it might turn out to be like this. I'm not really sure. I'm uncomfortable, but let's just gather information.
Mm-hmm.
And it changes your perspective because you're like, okay, nothing's really required of me. Like, I don't have
Nothing.
to commit myself in any way. I'm just going to gather
No.
information. That's it. And if
Right.
I'm seeing that this
Right.
person's not really bending, they're uncompromising, they're just, or just sour or just unhappy, or that's information that's really important because there's some non
Yes.
negotiables in your life that you're like, that information, that
Mm.
piece plugs in here. And that's really a non negotiable for me.
Mm-hmm.
So gather
Yeah.
information before you go traveling with someone. Gather information before you, yeah, let's go traveling the world.
Yeah.
Am I physically able to do the things that they want to do? Am I forgiving? Or are they forgiving? Are they rigid? Gather information. It doesn't mean that you can't have a friendship with them, and it can be any kind of friendship. It can be a surface one. It can just be, acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is,
Yes.
gather information. That's all you have to do.
Not
That's it.
exactly. Not everything needs to serve a purpose or a goal,
No.
right? Like a greater goal, let's say, like, so the goal is just gathering information, right? That's the goal. And how do I do that? Well, asking good questions and being curious and listening,
Yeah.
observing, and I'm saying it like
Yeah.
this because I'm not being like, duh, guys. I'm saying it like this because it is actually simple and we make it
Yeah.
so difficult. Especially, I wish that with jobs, we could date jobs. I think
Mm.
more jobs are doing this now, more companies where they hire you on a, um,
Like dictionary period. Yeah.
yes, I think that that's fantastic for both people.
I
I
do
want to
too.
date this job. Also, you're going to see somebody could be so great at interviewing because that's a skill. They could be
Mm-hmm.
so great with their, what do they call it, CVs now, resumes. They could be so great with that. Look, AI does that stuff for you now.
Oh yeah.
You do not really get to know, and the person who's interviewing you and presenting this job to you, they're giving you these bullet points that you want to hear
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. So
Sure.
it would be so great to have more of this attitude of, is this workplace good for both of us? And that's why we talk about it as a relationship. And maybe
Yeah.
that's something that we need to switch our minds with too, with a 1%, that when I'm interviewing for a job, I'm interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing me. I want to
Absolutely.
know if I'm going to be a good fit there.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that one of the greatest questions to ask is, what kind of person does really well in this environment, in your company,
Mm-hmm.
in this position? Because yes, you're interviewing them, but it also shows that you are very thoughtful. You're not just there just to get a job and it's an exchange of money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of asking, what we say, what do you value? In
Right.
what does your company value and what do you value in a person in
Mm-hmm.
order for them to be successful here?
Yeah.
I think a lot of things need to be on trial, you
Yeah.
know?
Be less turnover for sure.
So I have a question for you. That we answered that question in like an hour. Um,
As we do.
you see,
As we do.
here's the thing, guys. Gwendolyn and I have no shortage of content to
No.
discuss. We just want to make sure this is something that you all want to hear. So that is why we would love to get those comments from you in these messages, and be as
Mm-hmm.
specific as you can, and like and follow us on all the social media platforms, because this is for you. this
Yeah.
this is for you. This is for us in a way too, right, Wendell? And this is something we've talked about for a long time. It's a wonderful challenge for us.
Mm-hmm.
We we learn so much from each other too, which is why
Yeah.
I like doing this every week. It's really a huge blessing to be able to do this with your bestie, and just someone that you admire so much, and you're so wise, Gwendolyn. And it's been like a true joy to do it. I don't know if I would do it with anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
No,
could.
seriously. No.
Um,
Yeah,
so
it's true.
I that's one of the questions I want to ask you is what what do you if we didn't start this, maybe this is an unfair question, but like if we didn't start this, how would you have felt about yourself now? If we never started this, where do you think you'd be?
I think this is a great thing, what we're doing, and I'm really enjoying it. I do, with this information that I think you and I have held in for so long and we get to tell people in our sessions, we get to
Mm-hmm.
give them pieces of this, and that's great. And that's an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
But this information that we have, we're always trying to get it out. And so you and I have both tried doing books, and it's so hard for us.
Oh yeah.
And I think that I would still be struggling to get it out on paper
Mm-hmm.
and frustrated
Mm-hmm.
with that because
Yeah.
that's just not my way of expression.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where I would be, is still trying to figure out how can I get this out to people. Listen, this may
Yeah.
flop. You and I doing this, we may go a year from now, okay, this is flopping. Nobody's listening, which isn't the case. But anyway, I mean, in case you didn't know, Spotify was like, you're doing great. Okay, Spotify. Okay, so anyway, so it's going well, but I think I would be frustrated with the information inside. I want to give
Mm-hmm.
that to people,
Mm-hmm.
not for me, not for a
Yeah.
spotlight. I just, I have learned so much through time. God has put me through many things where I'm like, I wish I could give this to somebody. And this is my way of doing that. So I think I would just
Mm-hmm.
still feel a little frustrated that I want to give something to people. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to do that without writing a book and having to go through that headache. You and I have tried that so much. Guys, we're still trying. We're still trying to put it on paper. And it's so hard for us.
I
But I
did.
think that's
I
where I would
did.
be. Yeah. Yeah, listen, I think Meredith should be finishing up her book and putting it on here for you guys to purchase because I think her information is so great. So okay, so you did. What's keeping you from putting it out?
I haven't read the whole thing. After I put it all together, like I would reread each chapter and all of that, but I haven't read it all together as a whole.
Mm,
And I recognized the other day, I'm looking at it right now. I realized the other day that it's because I don't think that I'm going to like it. And there's so many other things that I'm going to want to say that I didn't say. And it's going to say the same
mm,
thing over and over. Like and so I mean, I've been working on this for, I think, probably over 5 years. And this isn't even what I thought it was going to be. I probably, for all the information, all the things I've written over the years, I have outlines for 4 more books that I
yeah.
can do.
Mm-hmm.
This came about based on starting this podcast and what has become really important to talk about. So a lot of what we have talked about is in here, is in this book. I think it's going to be about 100, like 50 pages maybe. Um, and there's narrative, there's questions, there's ways to create discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a lesson. It's some of our humor. It's using motivational gifts. There's a lot of what we discuss on here in there, bringing it together and what I've done before and where I hope to go. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it would be great to put that out there. Um,
I want to
but
see that. I want to see that. I want to see you putting that out
yeah,
there. And this, and
yeah,
because,
thank
and let me
you.
explain why I want to see that. I'm not going to name any names. You know who I'm talking about, Meredith. But there is a certain person out there. I think she's a therapist. I'm not really sure. And she's come out with some books, but I won't even read them. When she comes on the screen, I get such a feeling about her. I just keep
She's
going. I'm
not a
like, something's
therapist.
weird. She's
She's
not. Okay. She's like a
She's not a
motivational speaker or
therapist.
something. Okay. And
Mm,
every time I see her, I'm like, I feel like it's the same thing and I feel like it's empty what she's saying.
mm,
And I feel like,
yeah.
and so what I've heard about her books, I haven't read them because I just can't stomach even watching her. And I know that sounds horrible, but I feel like there's not an authenticity there. I know, judgy, say what you want. I don't care. Y'all all get feelings from people about stuff like that. And I do too. So, but things I've heard is that her books are repetitive. They don't really, it's just the same thing over and over again. And Meredith, the thing, your content is not repetitive. You get annoyed with repetition. You're like, no, if I can't give you meat, I'm not going to give it to you. And
Yeah.
that's why I think your book would do so well because it is meat. It's not the
Hmm.
same thing over and over and over again. And I would really love to see
Yeah.
you put that out there.
Thank you. See, guys, why you need to have people like this at your table? Because neither one of us would be doing the things that we've done. And Gwendolyn also has this awesome children's book about
Oh,
being
I know.
appropriate,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. So we just have to continue to encourage each other on this. And
I
many of
know.
you would love this, and I know many of our listeners would buy that for sure. We would love for it to be a movement.
Yeah.
um, and that's the thing, Gwendolyn. I do think that some people who do this, they do want to be seen as someone
Mm,
really important, or it's been their life's dream. There's no judgment in this and what I'm saying, but it's like their life's dream and their life's work to be known,
mm-hmm,
and not all, but some, it's just very basic, but they have this
mm-hmm,
within them that they can make it happen and be seen in a certain way, and people still get stuff out of it. But I promoting yourself and marketing yourself, right, guys? It's,
oh,
I don't know how it is for all of you, but I mean, I hear that all the time though too. It's like, again, going for an interview or asking for a raise at work, knowing your value, what you have to offer. It's not ego in a bad way. We are ego. We all have that. We're made of that for a reason. It's just how we use it, right? Like,
mm-hmm, yeah.
there's a fine line between being cocky and confident, right?
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah.
between
Mm-hmm,
arrogant and confidence. Sure. And sometimes you have to be a little less confident. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more arrogant and try it out until you see how it works. And that's research. And that's gathering
mm-hmm,
information on yourself. That's gathering
mm-hmm,
information on the world and seeing how people respond to you. And then taking it further was like, okay, well, it worked with that person, but it didn't work with these three people. Well, are all
mm-hmm,
those three people kind of the same? Was it my audience? Was it me, like my delivery? I'm always in constant, I'm in constant mode of gathering information. And I don't, it's nothing technical. It's just
mm-hmm,
that the things that we think that we see or we hear, it's most of the time it isn't that, right?
yeah.
Um, and I also think I'm not I'm fortunate. I'm not a fearful person. I'm not a
Mm-hmm,
fearful person.
yeah. You're
Many
not.
people are. They suffer from anxiety, and we hear that a lot, right? We work with that a lot. I shouldn't say I'm not a fearful. I am. Uh, but
It's different.
I am. It's different. The
It's
degree
different.
of any anxiety that I feel does not keep me from doing the thing that needs to be done. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I'm not worrying about things in the future that I don't know anything about yet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No,
You
you're
know,
not. You're not.
I,
Uh-uh.
when I get there, then I will
Yeah.
deal with it when I get there. And I might be fearful about what I have to do when I get there, but I'm not going to be fearful about something I don't know if it's really going to happen, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
I, we all process differently in that way. And again, going back to the partnership, going back to traveling or who you're choosing, you have to know that too. You have to know, like,
Mm-hmm.
what level of fear is this person carrying? And are you going to have to carry a lot of it for somebody else? Can it go back and forth? Is it a process? How do they talk about that fear? Look, again, works in progress. It is just gathering information. Rarely do we get to a conclusion about a
Yeah.
person in one sitting. Like we
Yeah.
do, but it may not be real,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And also, if my conclusion at the end of one meeting is like, yeah, this person, you know, I don't have to explain it to anybody why I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to continue that. It's just not
No.
working for me. The
No.
information I gathered in this moment is not worth gathering more. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking more about, like, let's say dating. Dating is just gathering information. It's research. It's always been
Yeah.
research for me. I did not mind dating, at all. But yeah, I look at everything like that. And you
Yeah.
know what, Wendelin? And that's how I write, and you know this, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
I process. I do everything in an outline. It's not, it's so, but I did train myself to do that. I did. I had to.
When we're looking at social media, they're putting their best foot forward. They're putting the
Mm-hmm.
best pictures
Mm-hmm.
out. They're doing, okay, look at my life, right?
Yeah.
I see that as kind of first meetings as well. Don't draw conclusions, just gather information. So when you're meeting someone, usually they're putting their best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually putting themselves out there in a way that's attractive.
Yeah.
And keep that in mind. It's over time. What does Meredith say? You look at patterns, right? What do I say? You look at evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, you gather the information and then you can make a conclusion. Of course, there are going to be people immediately you're like, if that's their best foot, I'm going to make a mad dash to the door.
Even
I'm
sometimes when
making
they show you their worst and you're like, well, that's fine. It will get
yeah.
better, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. So I do see first meetings as kind of like the whole social media cover page thing, like all the posts, like this is my
Mm-hmm.
best foot forward. So take what you can and maybe don't draw conclusions unless it's just in your face about it, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I do think that that's important for some people to hear in saying, just wait a second. I know people
Mm-hmm.
who have their guard up so much that that first meeting, they'll find the one thing that's wrong and emphasize that so they don't have to get
Oh,
close to the person.
yeah.
Or the person who wants to jump in, right away and say, oh, this person's for me. This person's going to be my BFF or this person's going to be the love of my life. We have so much
Mm-hmm.
in common. Calm down.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, I just kind of see first meetings as best foot forward. Rarely do you meet
Look.
someone,
Yeah.
yeah, rarely do you meet someone that is what you see is what you got, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but I think just gather information. That's it.
So you've been listening to the conversations that Wendell and I, I mean, we've had. You've been listening to our conversations since August, some of you. And we can take on different tones on different content, be in different types of moods. We just come as we are. So we've really appreciated having last week's and this week's episode to just, again, like you really are sitting at a coffee shop with us, because these are your questions, and we got through how many? Maybe four, Gwendolyn, and
Yeah.
this is where we still are.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much to experience and appreciate about the world around us, especially people. Find those things that you appreciate, even if it's somebody who's an enemy. I still believe we can find something that is good about a person. I also want to challenge you, if you are the type of person who always looks for the shoe that's going to drop, or the negative, or you're focusing on the thing that doesn't work, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
How is it serving you?
Yeah.
Turn that frown upside down. I'm not talking about the power of positivity. I'm talking about the power of perspective.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say, Gwendolyn, today. What would you say?
I think that that is a great place to leave it, Meredith. Power of perspective. Absolutely. Listen, I'm going to tell you a little story about my daughter, and then we're ending this.
Okay.
We were learning about Dolly Parton, and we were about to go to Dollywood, and I was introducing my children to all the Dolly Parton songs, you know. They were loving it. One of my daughter's favorite was Jolene. Jolene. I love that song.
Jolene, Jolene.
Jolene. Yep. And so we would be listening to it in the car. And then I had to tell them one morning, I said, listen, guys, I just found out some sad news about poor Dolly. We were just about to go to Dollywood. And I said, poor Dolly. My daughter had asked me about the song Jolene. Let me rewind. She had asked about the song Jolene. What was it about? And I told her. And apparently it was like a true story kind of deal. So I tell her, oh, and I tell my son, guys, it's sad. Dolly Parton's husband died yesterday. And it's just really sad to, you know, listen to all her music, introduce you guys to her. And this is something sad happening in her life. And they were like, oh, wow, that's really sad. I'm like, yeah. So it's quiet for about 5 seconds. And my daughter goes, well, I guess you don't have to worry about Jolene anymore. Talk about perspective, right? She's sitting
Oh,
here in her
she's
precious
hilarious.
7-year old mind thinking, this girl's had to worry about this girl Jolene because of her husband. Well, he's dead now. She don't have to worry about Jolene anymore. Talk about a change in perspective. I was like, well, I guess that's one thing. I guess she doesn't. I guess she doesn't.
Listen.
Power of perspective shifts, right? I
Mm.
mean, you know,
Everyone can do it. Everyone can do it.
everyone can do it. We
Yep.
do not believe in the power of positivity crap manifest stuff. I'm going to tell
Mm.
you right now. We are about people are like, I manifest. Go ahead. You do you, boo. But we don't. We do think of perspectives, and perspectives are just so important. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah. Well, thanks, Gwendolyn. These have been fun. If you guys want us to keep going on this and answering your questions, we're happy to keep doing it if you really appreciate you know these podcasts. And like I said, we're open to feedback. Please,
Yeah,
please let us know, what would you like to know more about. And like I
absolutely.
said, Gwendolyn and I could talk about anything. So we could just do a little words
Anything.
association. Just put out words there, and we'll be like, yeah, I think that's what they mean. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, hello, we asked 2 questions and we talked for an hour, so we're good. You guys get it. You
Oh,
guys get who we are. Here we are.
yes.
Just
We appreciate you
ride
so
this ride with
much.
us. We do.
Yes, exactly. And we'll see them next week.
Have a great week, guys. Thanks for joining us on Simply 1%, where we truly believe that small shifts over time create big change. If today's episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to follow or subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who might need it. Your support helps us keep the conversation going. Make sure you connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next time, have a great week.